we called it cotton fly. The short fibres used to get away from the yarn and the operation, and it would just float in the air. And used to breathe it in, and, blokes used to say their babies were born with singlets.
And you could, the hum in that big room where you went into it, with people moving around, moving the stuff around, and the smell of that cotton, every colour in the world coming out of these huge dyeing machines. The knitting machines whirling around, producing at such high speed rolls of knits. It was absolutely fascinating for everybody, and all of that scene activated by people moving on them, not sitting down watching, moving, doing things.
It didn't matter how modern the machinery was. The main modernness was going into the speed of production. They're getting the speeds up and up and up and up. Till in the finish, the machines were making a hell of a noise, and they were putting yarn in so quickly you couldn't see it.
It was absolutely amazing to walk around and see it. And those of us who worked in it will never forget. It's indelible in your mind, that sort of thing.
Victoria was a particular choice for woolen mills because it's easier to process wool by the sea. At one point it had 52 woolen mills in Geelong. But it was faster, more productive. It had an environment that was more conducive to processing wool, of it going through the machine much faster. And when you have that legacy history, you get expertise builds up, you get knowledge builds up, you get a workforce, an education system, and you also get competition. Other companies come into the market, and that builds capabilities. And that's why we had such a fantastic industrial textile industry in Australia.
The whole area was popping. I think the area is about 16 hectares, and I think there was about 8 hectares under factory roof, and 1,500 people working 24 hours a day.
So denim was our biggest product in the finish, but it was not the biggest product as Bradmill grew. Our biggest products in those days were straight out drills. Usually a 3-in-1 twill, 100% cotton, and we did a very, very good job. All the army uniforms, all drill. The post office stuff, all drill.
Before the tyre industry also got wiped out in Australia, Goodyear, Bridgestone and Dunlop, we supplied all the tyre cord out of that plant. We wove fabrics on looms that were so solid. The fabrics were about 1 inch thick. They were then made into solid woven building ducts for the mining industry. So the mines out in Western Australia are using Bradmill products every time you see those great conveyor belts going up. Bradmill was the heart of that. Everybody who had an awning had Bradmill fabrics up on their windows. It went 7 days a week. The trouble was when you started at 7 a.m. on Monday morning, by Tuesday afternoon or so you'd just about supplied the Australian market. So you had to look for export.
Another Victorian company has picked up an award for covering international backsides with denim.
Bradmill Textiles, the Melbourne-based denim manufacturer, is spending $6 million on new equipment this year.
Produces denim for Europe, the UK and America, supplying fashion houses such as Calvin Klein.
We branched out into the world and made our name pretty well known out there.
They sold their products, their fabrics to Dolce & Gabbana, Moschino.
We supplied to Tommy Hilfiger.
We were supplying people like Diesel and Levi Strauss and Wrangler.
And that was a pretty tough gig trying to stay with them because they were pretty hard taskmasters. They wanted absolute quality. And
one of the biggest customers was Target. People often think, oh, Target, you supplied Target, did you? No, they've got no idea how Target's quality. I've only got to mention one thing, is Marks and Spencer. That's what you had to produce too.
There was a raft of others that saw our denim as prestigious. It was a prestigious denim. Why is it so good? It was the textile technology. It's the knowledge of textile behind it. Not everyone could produce denims. In fact, there were few that could produce the denims that we did. And it's right through the manufacturing process, all through that supply chain. We had master textile technologists and industrialists that understood that process and did it well and did it creatively.
There was quite a lot of pride in seeing the brand name up. People stayed, and there was a culture that kept people there. So the more that was known about the brands and how well we were doing and who we supplied, which was just about everybody, the more people felt proud because they were part of it. And they knew that success was due to them too, because they were part of it. They were doing it, not just once, but over and over again for long-term supply.